Mark here with another episode of Bartender School Online. Today I got a question for you. Do you really want to be a bartender? It may seem kind of like a stupid question, but I tell you, there's a lot of people out there that they go into a bar, they see bartenders working and having a great time and say, well, you know what, I think I'd like to do this. But they don't really have any idea of what's going on back there. Well, I'm going to explain that to you. So, what's really going on behind the bar? I put together a little PowerPoint for you here. I've broken everything down into 7 categories. Don't be alarmed. It's not hard. You already know 50% at least of all this stuff. If you've never been in the food and beverage industry, this might be a little bit of an eye-opener, for you, because bartenders are responsible for a lot of stuff. Okay, and you need to know these little things, which you'll mostly get with experience, but there's basic skills that you need to know. Bartending is about one thing, really. You're having these little mini conversations with your customer during your entire shift. Okay, you just happen to be making drinks and maybe getting some food and checking in an order, doing this, ringing up the server's drink orders, things like that. But there's really a lot more to it. Why are you doing this in this way? So let's take a look. Okay, let's get started here. Do you really want to be a bartender? As I said in the video before this, it might be kind of a stupid question, but I know that there's a lot of new people, very brand new to the food and beverage industry, and all they see is what a bartender's doing back there, having a great time and making drinks, so they don't really know. So let me give you a little bit of a insight here on what's going on. So, is it hard? Nope. You might be a little physically tired by the end of your shift, but it's not hard. It's not a hard job. It's a great job. It's flexible. It's great money. Once you get into your first place, your first bartending gig, always think about moving up and getting into a busier bar. Hey, who knows? You might have got into a really good one to start off, and that's great. But usually the higher paying bartending jobs are going to need some skill, but you can get there real quick. Just don't be intimidated. Again, it's not hard. Once you get your job, learn, you'll be just fine. And again, as I said before in the video, you're already halfway there. It's just a lot of common sense. If you have any social skills, you're going to be just fine. So as I said, great money, flexible. You can be a bartender the rest of your life, part-time, full-time. You'll always have the skills there, and in an economic downturn, no problem. Now, I want to be very clear about this. Bars will hire inexperienced people. They're looking for fresh faces all the time. Every bartender, when they get a new job, is going to go through some sort of training program. Even me, with all my experience and everything, say I went out and got a new job, they're going to train me a couple days, probably train me less than they would you being brand new, but you're going to have to go through that. So don't worry about that. Bar manager, I've hired many people with no experience. So let's get into some specific skills here. I kind of put it into 7 categories, and I'll go through these pretty quick because they're mostly common sense. Bartending 101 skills, customer service and experience, bar operations, bar equipment and setup, recipes, alcohol, beer and wine, and then some advanced training, which I'll touch on. So, bartending 101, what do you need to know? You know what? Go on, I have another video. Go get a little bartender kit. Practice your pouring at home. That's really all you need to practice doing is pouring a shot, a half a shot and a quarter, shot and a half, 2 shots. Practice, okay? I have other videos also on speed versus efficiency. There's they're two very different things. Efficiency sets you up for speed. So, pouring liquor, you're gonna practice that. Beer, wine, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Most wine glasses, you're gonna serve 5.5 ounces. Who hasn't poured a beer? Don't sweat it. Sanitation and hygiene. You gotta look good back there. You gotta be clean. And I have other videos on proper sanitation. Things that, can get you in trouble. Your customers might see, or health inspector, but we'll get into that. You do need to understand a little bit about profit. Why is that bar manager on you about your pouring? Or throwing away fruit? Or rotten fruit? Or fruit flies in the bottles? Or not emptying a keg? need to understand that pouring cost, and I'll get into that. I have another video on how that works, and you should know that. I used to ask bartenders in the interview, not all of them, of course, but I'd say, well, what do you know about liquor cost? How important it is, So anyway, glassware, garnishes, most bars have like 10 different glasses, easy stuff. Anybody can cut a lime, a lemon twist, pineapple, throw a cherry and olive in the drink. It's pretty simple. House rules is a biggie. That's usually what the bar owner or the bar manager establishes as the rules. What you're pouring, the amount that you're pouring, how you pour it, whether you're going to be using a shot glass or not, free pouring. Hopefully you'll be free pouring. And then a whole lot of other things like drinking on the job, free drinks, writing down waste and spills. How do you handle unruly customers? That's all stuff that you need to know. So, customer service, here's where it's at. This is what you're doing. Bartenders, what you're doing back there is you're having these little mini conversations with people all day long. Just happen to be making drinks and getting them some food and taking care of them on the side. So some people might disagree with that, but that's what it is. It's customer service. It's you providing great service so they have a great experience, so that they come back, so that the bar owner makes money. So there's a lot of what ifs, okay? What if this guy's really drunk? How do I cut him off? What if there's a fight? I'm going to go into all that and give you really some good suggestions on what to do. And again, it's based on my over 25 years experience. There's a right way and a wrong way to handle a lot of this. Then, what does the bar owner expect? And we'll get into that. That's one of those topics. It's basic, but it's more advanced. You need to understand what's really going on, why he's doing this, why he's doing that, and I'm going to teach you that. It's important that you know the menu. In most all bars now, they're serving food. You need to understand that you have to sell food. You want to get that guest check average up. Again, more money for the bar owner. Suggestive selling is very simple. I'll teach you that. And as I mentioned before, your goal is to serve those customers again. Your goal really should be every single person that you wait on in there, you want to see them again. If you're doing that, man, you're golden. You are a top of the line bartender and your bar owner loves you. Again, customer complaints, unruly customers, fake IDs is a biggie. And I'll tell you right now, right off the bat, people walking into your bar, minors trying to get served, they don't care about you. They don't care about your bar, your fellow employees. They don't care if you're all out of a job. You need to take it personal and really be nice, be professional, but do not mess up in this area. And I'm going to teach you that. Is the customer always right? No. We're dealing with alcohol here, and I'll get into that. That's a trick question. A lot of interviewers will ask you that, and I'm going to give you the perfect answer to that. So, bar operations, and this is one thing, again, that new bartenders just don't understand. How do they really work? How does profit work? How do they cost out a drink? You don't really need to go on this, of course, if you're thinking about going into management or bar management, then of course, but it's a great idea to have a little bit of knowledge on this. Pouring cost, you're going to hear that from your bar manager all the time. And you need to understand about inventory and how it all works, because you're going to be pulling whatever it may be, napkins, garnishes, glassware, dry goods, and of course liquor, beer, and wine. It kind of depends on the bar. You need to understand payroll. Why are you working alone and it's so busy? Well, hopefully that's good because they think you can do it, but you need to understand that the way they assign shifts and the flexibility or whatever. Teamwork will probably come up in the interview. The very fastest way out of the bar business or anything in the food and beverage industry is saying, that's not my job. I will not work with people that do that. It's just, if you've got the time, help out. It's all about making the bar owner money and teamwork and getting those people back. As a bartender, you're going to deal with vendors, whether you have video games in there, jukebox. Yep, a lot of bars still have those. You're going to be on during, say it's the middle afternoon, bar manager's gone and a liquor delivery comes in. So you need to understand what's going on there. And that again is why when you talk about the difference between food servers or cocktail servers, hostesses, and bartenders, the bartender usually has more responsibility. And again, that's where the trustworthy aspect comes in the bar interview, and I'm going to teach you all about that. The POS system, point of sale. Every bar is different. Some bars still have the old cash register system, especially a lot of mom and pop corner bars, which is a great place to work, by the way. A lot of good money. Listen, if you can operate a cell phone or a computer, you're going to get this down easy. It's all simple. So don't sweat that. Don't be alarmed about that. You're going to get trained on it. So you'll also understand how to set up a bar. All right, I'll teach you that and tear one down. Opening and closing it. Again, glassware, what needs to be cleaned, when to pull new glassware. I'll tell you right now, your bar manager will be monitoring. They monitor all these things, the cost. And they're going to be on you for missing glassware. Are you breaking it? We all understand customer will break a glass. Are they walking out the door? All these glasses. Big problem with shot glasses, okay? And coffee cups, usually, if they're really nice. So, we're gonna talk about that. The proper way to clean, minor cleaning, keeping your bar organized. Customers notice that. Now, having a clean, organized bar doesn't make you a fantastic bartender. It makes you a great employee. There's other things that make bartenders really, really good. So as I said, stay organized. You'll get a tour when you get hired, and more than likely in this tour, and it's going to be over a couple of days, you'll get all the basics down and you'll be just fine. Just ask questions and you'll be fine. Okay, alcohol, beer, and wine. Just as important as knowing recipes. How can you suggest something if you don't know what the bar carries? Okay, and you're gonna get that a lot. Give me a rum and Coke. Okay, do you want Bacardi? You need to ask that. So I have I wrote a nice article on my website about that, but I get into that more. Your selling skills count. Okay, you don't want to overserve people, of course, but you don't want them leaving because you can't get to them, or maybe again, that's going to come down to your social skills. But I go into a lot of that sort of thing. For those of you that have a hard time memorizing, listen, it's easy, and I'll talk about that in the next section here. So, cocktail recipes. As you can see, it's towards the end of this little presentation. It's easier than you think. It's only 10% of the job, and I would challenge you. Hundreds of recipes. Give me a glass of red wine, a draft beer, a bottled beer. Give me a rum and Coke, a Jack Daniels on the rocks. Okay, hundreds of drinks you already know. In fact, there's any bartender that's been out there for years. Okay, I would honestly say that I have forgotten more drink recipes than I know right now, because most places they have the classic 50 or 60 drinks. I realize it's different across the country, and things are different, but you only need to know about 50 or 60. You will probably get asked a drink recipe in the interview, but every bar manager that I know, general manager or head bartender, myself included, I never tried to trip anybody up. I would ask them, I say, walk me through the steps of making a martini. So obviously you need to know a martini, but don't sweat that. I want to dispel that myth. You don't need to know all these drinks. Every place has a house specialty drink menu, usually, okay, or something that's common in that bar. They're known for that type of drink. They will give you the recipes for that, so don't even worry about it. It might be nice if before your interview, you get called in for an interview, you go in there and or have somebody else go in there and maybe get a cocktail drink recipe so that you know them. If you got an interview with a chain restaurant or sports bar chain restaurant or whatever, go to a different one. And you should actually do that anyway. Go to a different one in your city, sit down, have a Coke, ask the bartender some questions, ask them about their house specialty drinks. Memorization techniques. Again, it's not easy. You can learn the classic 50 in a night. Okay? I'm a big fan of mnemonics. It got me through college, rote learning, spatial learning. You know, go into that and however you can learn flashcards. It's not hard. Once you get behind the bar managers, I know I don't want anybody with cell phones back there. Or women, I'd say, put it in your purse, or men, put it away. A lot of people, for drink recipes, a book doesn't really, it doesn't help, because they're probably making the drink different than what you're used to or what your customer wants. A lot of bartenders, brand new, will have their cell phone set on a website, and for drink recipes that they can quick look at when nobody's kind of looking, maybe when they're at the register. You could do that. So you're going to be surprised at what people order. It's very different. You may think that these two construction guys are going to order this, or a single woman in a business suit's going to order this. It's really going to surprise you on what people order. You get a 21-year-old kid coming in asking for a single malt scotch neat. Okay, that'll blow you away. So, advanced training. I'll tell you right now, nobody, myself included, can really offer anybody advanced training online. It's all done on the job. As you observe other bartenders, you need to watch what they're doing. And again, experience is the greatest teacher. All these experiences you're going to have with your customers, dealing with different things. Somebody's not satisfied with their drink. I can sit here and tell you what to do, okay? But I wasn't there to see what, how you made the drink, how this customer's acting. This is only done, you can only get this through experience. So, but we'll talk about that in other videos. So, fellow employee relations. You better be able to get along with your fellow employees. That's huge. Especially a new bartender, you come in there, well, guess what? There's people that have worked there for a long time in most every place. So you need to fit in, take their suggestions. Don't walk in there and say, well, I'm going to do it this way. That's another quick way of getting out there. Especially in smaller single owner places, they're kind of set in their ways, and whether they do things right or not, you need to fit in. Okay, they're not going to like some new guy. They don't want anybody with, even if I were to walk in there, they don't want me changing things. Okay, so be careful about that. What you want to do, the whole idea, get your first job, take anything. I'm telling you right now, take anything. Within a couple of months, you walk into other places for other interviews and you got experience on your resume. The sky's the limit. So, okay, let's get back here. Final thoughts: stay organized, ask questions, continue to learn, follow the rules, house rules. Just because, and I want to reiterate this, just because that bartender that's training you, or the head bartender or other bartenders are doing something, you better be careful. Clear it with management. You just never know. And be nice. Be nice to everybody. Your boss, your customers, your fellow employees, and relax. It's not hard, folks. Once you get into a place, you're going to realize how, wow, man, this is fun. And you walked out with $200 in cash. So let's get back here. So as you can see, there's a little bit more to it. Again, I hope that didn't scare you away, or it wasn't too basic for you. But it's just, it's things that bartenders do on a daily basis. And you have to decide, I realize that most of you looking at this video, you haven't tended bar before. So a lot of this stuff is new. It's like any other job, you've got to get trained. So, think about that. I hope you decided that it's not tough, because it's not, and it's worth it to learn some basic skills and learn how to be a bartender, make great money, and it's a job you can fall back on for the rest of your life. Okay, so remember, like, subscribe, check out the videos I got coming up down below. Check those out and keep watching them, and you'll get that job.